Hello, it is Sunday. It is time for my mental health vlog. And this week was a little crazy. Work was really busy this week. I had a release at work on Wednesday night for a project that I've been working on for a few months. So leading up to it was just a lot of validation. And then that night I had to double check everything that we've debugged or enhanced or fixed or added or changed over the last several months. I think there were about 135 different things I had to go through and check and make sure they were working okay. Most of them were, and then of course, like any release, you find things after the fact you didn't know, or things that you never found before, that never addressed before, but now it's an issue. So spent the rest of the week just kind of building up an issue log for the new issues we were finding. But onward to our next release. This was actually my second release for this program, but it was the biggest one that we'd had since I took it over in the summer. But yeah, it was crazy. It was really busy, but it was good being busy at work because it makes the day go by a little bit faster. That being said, there were a lot of meetings, there were a lot of calls, there were a lot of emails, but you know, that's work. That's what work is anymore. Had to go to the doctor to get my testosterone checked because it was time for a refill of my testosterone. And I like the doctor that I have been seeing for this issue a lot more than I like my doctor who is the one that I've had since I moved here. So I went ahead and just asked her, I'm like, can we just transfer all my stuff to you and you be my doctor because I like you better? And she was like, yeah, no problem. Boop, done. So she's now my new doctor and she's closer to me, which is a lot nicer. So I don't have to drive 45 minutes for a 5-minute doctor's appointment. Woohoo! So that's a plus. But I don't have the results yet. But I don't think that the numbers are going to be as high as we wanted them to be. I know that the gel that I'm on, which I have to apply to my chest twice a day, or 2 pumps a day at the same time. I know it's helping a little bit, and my boyfriend pointed out a few things that he noticed a change on since I started the testosterone. But I don't think it's enough. And one of the biggest health issues that I face is the fact it's one of the doctors called it chronic fatigue syndrome, and I'm not necessarily certain that's what it is, but I am always tired. And we've checked testosterone and we've checked blood pressure and we've checked, a whole bunch of stuff. And the most recent thing that we've been looking at is, am I getting enough air through my CPAP machine at night? Am I getting the best use out of my CPAP machine at night to get a solid night's sleep, so that I'm not always tired? And, as I was talking earlier, I had my nose checked out and I do have a deviated septum, and the doctor said I've got like really inflamed sinus tissue, something, I don't know. So I'm having that surgery done on Friday to have my deviated septum fixed and the sinus tissue removed. I don't know what that's going to consist of. All I know is I'm going to be out. I've been under sedation before, like when I was 15, 16, when I had my wisdom teeth extracted because they were all impacted. But I've never been like under that I know of, or that I can remember in my adult life. Maybe as a child when I had to have my arm, I had to have a pin extracted from my arm, but I don't remember being like out for that. But I'm gonna be like out. Like I gotta admit, I'm kind of scared because there's always that, what if factor, like what if I don't come out? So it's I know it's a standard procedure and I know that he does several of these a week, but still it's kind of, I'm a little scared. And it's okay to be scared, all your feelings are valid. I gotta remind myself of that sometimes. All my feelings are valid. I actually had an issue with my son this weekend. We had my son all weekend, which I love. I love having my son for the whole weekend. He got really upset about something, and honestly, my boyfriend and I didn't really understand why he was upset. Like he was inventing a story or a scenario in his head, and that made him upset. So he started to get really emotional about it. And I'm like, you know what? you go ahead and you feel your feelings. Your feelings are valid, but when you process them a little bit more, we really want to understand them so we can talk about them. And I don't think he did calm down a little bit, but I don't think he fully understood them enough to really convey them to us. So I mean, but we tried. But the takeaway from this was that I was able to remind him that your feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel however you need or want to feel, and when you are ready to talk about those, I'm here. We're here. And I reminded him again today. I'm like, if you need to talk to Papa about anything, absolutely anything, I am always here. I didn't have that relationship with my parents, specifically my dad. I don't feel like I had a relationship with my dad at all growing up, honestly. It was more just fear-based. My mom, I always felt like I could tell her anything as long as it wasn't something that was going to disappoint her, because I never wanted to disappoint my mom, and I know I have. Every child disappoints their parents at some point. But like that was a big fear for me, was disappointing my mother. And I want my son to know that I will try very hard to always be there for him and be open for him and be a sounding board for him. And I have to remind myself that if I ever do get disappointed, I try really hard not to let that impact him. One of the worst memories I have as a child, my mom and I were fighting about something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember I was probably being an ass because I was a kid. We were at the annual family reunion barbecue in Bluffton, and I remember it so clearly. We were standing behind someone's truck, and she said, "I'm not mad. I'm just very disappointed." And my world just shattered, because then she didn't want to talk to me anymore. She needed time to process, which I get now as an adult. But holy shit, that hurt. And I still think about it today. And I think I've always tried really hard to not disappoint my mom. But at the same time, what that does is it does prevent me from wanting to take down those walls and be super vulnerable with my parents and my mom especially, and if there's bad news, I may not always share it with her. And I love my mother. We have an amazing relationship, but I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Forever changed the way I viewed our relationship. And I don't want that same thing to happen to my son. I'm not mad at my mother for that. She was absolutely valid in her feelings. And, parents, as I've learned, there's no rule book. There's no guidebook for raising children. There's no right and wrong way to do things until something that you did in the past has a negative effect in the future. I know that there's going to be things that I've done with my son that years from now are going to surface, and he's going to be like, "You did this and it upset me, and I never told you because ... So I guess that's something every parent has to deal with. But we did have him all weekend, and it was amazing. He had Taekwondo on Friday night, and then we came home, watched a little TV, and then it was time for bed, which is standard on Friday nights when he has Taekwondo. Saturday, oh my God, we went to Pixar Putt-Putt at Discovery Green here in Houston, and there's 12 holes, and each one is based on a different Pixar movie, and fun, so much fun. And the holes were designed in such creative ways. By the way, if you are a person that's always got a dirty mind and you're playing putt-putt, you use the word holes and balls a lot, and it's really, really hard when you're with a child to be mature. I said what I said. But it was really cool, really fun. And then we discovered in Discovery Green, there's like this big hill, and some kids were using cardboard boxes to slide downhill. So my son's like, I want to do that. Sure, no problem. We had time. It was a beautiful day. He made a new friend that he exchanged phone numbers with. They were playing on the monkey bars and climbing over things and sliding down the hills. And I slid down the hill. As I posted earlier on Facebook, I will grow older. I can't help that. I will not grow up. Not completely. And I got that from my mother, which I love that I got that from my mother. Very Peter Pan syndrome. I don't look good in green tights, but very Peter Pan syndrome. So we just had a great time. We went and after that we got some lunch. We came back to the house. We watched a new movie that was out on Amazon, and then we had dinner. Watched some video games, played some video games, and then we had the fire going last night. It was really windy and really cold here in Houston, so we had the fire going last night. So we made s'mores again inside, and then we had hot cocoa because he, in his stocking at Christmas, had gotten like a hot cocoa bomb that he was just like itching to try out. So, and I found another one that I got my boyfriend. So they both had hot cocoa bombs, and I just used powder, which was fine. We had hot cocoa last night. And then, he got a shower and we went to bed. And then today we got up, we went and ran some errands and did some lunch, and then came back and just kind of hung out around the house all day. My boyfriend and I put up a screen for his office, so he has a little bit more privacy in his space, which is great. And then we took him back to his daddy. And I will tell you, the drop off today, it was actually a really pleasant drop off. My boyfriend was there, my ex was there, my son was there, and everyone was getting along. We were having a good conversation. There was laughter, I wish more drop-offs could be like that. I would like it if everyone got along all the time. Never gonna happen, but I would like it if everyone got along all the time. Let's see, I also met with my therapist this week, so I had a whole bunch of appointments this week. Next week I've got to get a COVID test prior to surgery to make sure that I'm good. I did find out I had a very, very close dear friend that had a really bad scare with COVID, and they were hospitalized, and one of their lungs was collapsing, and it was just, oh God, it was terrifying because I think so highly of this person, and to think that something could have happened to them, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to lose people I'm close to because of this. I guess it doesn't really matter, if I'm ready for things like that or not. They happen, but it would suck. One last thing before I go. My boyfriend and I have had some trouble communicating certain needs and feelings and emotions, and we've always been very, very open, so it's a little odd. So I have a friend that is in one of my recovery groups who is also in a group for couples where one person is in recovery. So we attended our first one of those meetings tonight. It was virtual. I didn't get the same feeling of I belong here like I did when I went to my first SAA meeting. So I don't know. We might go to a couple more and just feel them out and see how they go. Anyway, that is my crazy, crazy week. I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope if you're in Houston, I hope the wind didn't do any damage. If you're in like 80% of the US, I hope you're, getting unburied from the snow that's been hitting everybody. Crazy. And then we had this huge volcano eruption in Tonga in the Ring of Fire, so who knows what's going to happen with that. The world is a crazy place. And that's all I got this week. That's a lot, so I apologize. I don't apologize. It is what it is. This is my vlog. It can be as long as I need it to be. But thank you for sticking with me, and check on your friends. Make sure they're doing okay. I realized this week I really haven't talked to a lot of my friends lately, so I've tried to be reaching out a little bit more, and I just need to do that. Check on your loved ones. Make sure they're doing okay. Also realized I haven't talked to a lot of my loved ones recently, so I need to take my own advice there. It's always so much easier to give advice than to take it. Check on yourself. Do your self-inventory. Are you okay? What do you need? What kind of self-care can you do for yourself? First of the year, it's a great time to clean and rearrange and reorganize and your home, and sometimes that helps to do with yourself as well. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you for checking in on me, and I will see you next week.